Quick question, how many 60s hits can you hum but couldn't name the band if your life depended on it? Tonight we're digging up 10 groups who lit up the dial then vanished. Baroque heartbreaks, sunshine harmonies, and one psych single that sold a million. From future stars hiding in plain sight to singers who walked away at the peak. Which band do you think deserved a second life? Stick around for number 1. The clue is a teenage guitar prodigy who later became a legend. Baroque pop wasn't a trend yet, it was an experiment. The left bank took teenage heartbreak and dressed it in strings, harpsichord, and close harmonies. Walk Away Renee is pure ache, short lines, long feelings. The hook is simple, but the arrangement feels like a small orchestra in a city apartment. Just walk away, Renee. That contrast, formal instruments, fragile emotions, became a blueprint for chamber pop. The record soared into the U.S. top 5, putting a very New York kind of elegance on AM radio. Now as the rain beats down upon my weary. Why it connected, it gave teen pop a new color palette. Not just guitars and drums, it sounded like a love letter on fancy paper. Why they faded, internal tensions, shifting lineups, and a market racing toward heavier psych and harder rock. When scenes change fast, delicate bands often get left behind. The song outlived the brand. A great single can become a permanent address in pop history, even if the band moves out. Question: when you hear strings in pop today, do you think it adds class, or does it distance the song from real emotion? Like a bird, oh me, oh my. Honey Bus sounded like a spring morning, clear air, soft jangle, and careful harmonies. I Can't Let Maggie Go reached the UK top 10, a small miracle in a year crowded with giants. Everything about it is understated, the vocal never shouts, the arrangement leaves space, and the melody carries the weight. It later got new life in ads and compilations, proof that a good tune finds fresh ears across generations. Why it connected, its intimacy on vinyl. You feel like the band is playing in your kitchen, not a stadium. She flies like a bird in the sky. Why they faded, shifting membership, and the late 60s tilt toward bolder, louder statements. The business rewards volume, sonic, and marketing. Understatement can be a superpower, but it needs consistent championing, and gentle bands often struggle in loud eras. She was mine. She flies like a bird on me. Question: do quiet songs work better because they're honest, or do they get lost in noisy playlists? And I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah. Co-written by Paul Simon and Bruce Woodley, this is Sunshine Pop done with craft and clarity. The Circle deliver bittersweet optimism. The worst is over now. It hit number 2 in the US and top charts in Canada, powered by clean guitars and a lyric that tells you to stand up, brush off, and face the day. Here, red rubber ball. Why it connected, it's pop therapy before pop therapy was a thing. Simple words, sweet melody, and real emotional movement. Why they faded, the Circle were strong interpreters in a decade that started to worship the singer-songwriter mystique. The stories in the past with interpreters often lose out when authenticity gets equated with writing your own hits. A great pop performance has its own authorship. Delivery is design. Question: be honest, do you care who wrote the song if the record makes you feel something? Soft focus, late summer pop, gentle guitar, whispery vocal, a title you don't forget. The record reached the US top 20 in Canada as well, capturing the melancholic side of mid-60s youth. It's not tragic, it's wistful. The production is full of air, like an open window in a small town bedroom. Please
leaves begin to fall, answering all into.
Why it connected, teen emotions, grown-up restraint. It respects the listener's feelings without melodrama. Why they faded, taste turned to bigger statements, psychedelia, protest, and then harder rock. The Critters' lane narrowed fast.
Winter's call, I feel my tears, they fall like rain.
Pop's middle tempos and medium emotions are often the first to vanish, but they're also the easiest to rediscover.
Blindly sad.
Question: do you think mid-tempo melancholy has a place on today's charts?
On Monday, I'll keep waiting for that one day.
A late-decade sunshine pop gem that still sparkles. It went top 40 in the U.S. and earned gold with buoyant harmonies and a chorus that gently lifts rather than explodes. It's the sound of youthful hope at a time when the culture was getting heavier by the month. Why it connected, it's a smile you can hum. Even the question in the title feels like a shy conversation at a bus stop. Why they faded by 1969, bubbles were bursting. The market tilted to roots rock, album concepts, and FM seriousness. A bright single could feel out of season overnight. Pop cycles move fast, songs of light often become time capsules, and that can be their charm. Question: do you love late 60s bright pop, or does it feel out of sync with the era's politics?
You gotta be wanted. You gotta be loved.
British invasion energy with a U.S. near miss, 7 weeks bubbling on the Hot 100, peaking in the lower half, but it sounds like it should have been bigger. Tight vocals, crisp rhythm, and a title that aims true at the heart.
We can share.
You know, baby, how I can.
Why it connected, it delivers the core promise of 60s pop, direct emotion over a driving beat without gimmicks.
You gotta be wanted.
Why they faded, the American market is brutal on bands without a singular identity or a headline narrative. Being good at pop wasn't enough by 68. Without a story, songs struggle. Audiences don't just buy records, they buy myths. Question: what's more important for a band's success? One undeniable song or a compelling origin story? Feather-light harmonies, jazz-informed chords, and precision singing. The free design weren't built for barroom sing-alongs. They were for listeners who loved arrangement as much as melody. Kites Are Fun is exactly that, weightless. Critics and musicians later re-embraced them as cult heroes, proof that meticulous beauty can outlast radio trends. Why it connected, it's the joy of pure sound, the human voice treated like fine glass. Why they faded, too refined for a mass audience chasing rawness, and the industry didn't know how to market soft sophistication. Some bands are time-release capsules, the right ears arrive later. Question: do you replay songs more for the lyrics or the sound of the voices?
Now listen while I play my green tea.
A bubblegum psych crossover that hit US #1 in early 1968 and sold over 1 million sitar-like lines, a hypnotic rhythm, and a lyric about the hustle of street performance. Catchy, slightly trippy, and radio-friendly, it sits at the exact point where popcraft meets psychedelic color.
Drop a dime before I walk away.
Why it connected, it gave listeners the thrill of the new without losing the sugar rush of a perfect chorus. Why they faded, tension between band identity and bubblegum expectations. When your biggest hit defines you too narrowly, growth gets tricky. A #1 can be a crown or a cage.
Now listen while I play my
my green cell.
Question, would you rather have one huge hit that everyone knows or a career of smaller successes? Produced by Joe Meek, this is a beat group smash with a raw, urgent pulse and a rare sight on drums. Honey Lantry, a female drummer driving a UK #1 in an era dominated by men behind the kit. The track thumps like a DIY dance floor full of hand claps and room sound, proof that energy can outperform polish. Wyatt Connected, Attitude. The record feels like a party the band barely controls, and that's the magic. Why They Faded, Meek's studio world was unique and hard to replicate on the road. As styles evolved, their rough charm competed with more sophisticated productions. Sometimes the record is the star, not the band. Capturing a moment can eclipse the people who made it.
I've always told you that we must never, ever part.
Question, do you prefer raw, live-feeling recordings or finely produced studio magic? A myth-tinged, dramatic pop single sung by a very young Peter Frampton, it climbed into the UK top 10 with sweeping arrangement and a theatrical vocal that felt older than the band's years. This is pop meeting folklore, turning tragedy into a radio single. Wyatt Connected, big feeling, bold imagery, and a voice you can't ignore, even before fame found him elsewhere. Why They Faded, when your best-known member is bigger than the brand, the gravitational pull changes. Frampton's next chapters became the headline, bands can be launch pads. The song remains, the star takes flight. Question, do you follow artists across bands, or does the name on the label matter more than the voice? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.